Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we're on week 4 of our 12 weeks of Christmas ideas for Handmade Christmas. And today we're doing, excuse me, week 4 is all about baubles and ornaments. So I've grabbed some of my old stamp sets which I absolutely love. And I thought we'd do a bit of a mix and match of things. So I'm using colours that you wouldn't necessarily think of for Christmas. So I'm using the lovely Starry Sky as a base. And this is quite a large card. So this is a 7 by 5. Obviously 14 inches by 5 inches. And then the mat is half an inch smaller. And the cardstock is half an inch smaller as well. So that's just what I had. I was given some of these with some cards that I've had in a drawer for a long time. So it's a matter of getting it out. So you can use whatever size you've got. We're going to work on this piece to start off with. And we're going to just change it a bit and add a few colours. So I've got a blending brush. I've got Starry Sky. I've also got, there's me grabbing it, some Tempting Turquoise, and I think I'm going to use probably a little bit of Highland Heather in there. I think I'm just sort of working on some ideas and colours. I've just grabbed myself a piece of scrap paper. That's what I was scrubbling about for. So I can then put it down on my work surface. Says me throwing everything on the floor at the same time. So we're going to take this and we're going to do some things with it which you can then do on, you know, whatever you're doing. You don't have to do exactly the same ideas as me. This is it's to give you the idea. So it's doing a bit of an ombre look. But we're going to start with the Highland Heather, which is a pale sort of purpley colour. And we're just going to take it from the bottom, and just work our way up. Or work our way down. I haven't decided whether this is probably going to be the top actually. I haven't decided whether I'm doing dark or not. Now you can see where I press more on that side. So if I want to even it out, I can just do exactly the same thing, because I know that where I start on this side, it's going to be, you can see how that's coming up darker. And again, I've got it a little bit wobbly, but that's because I'm going very quickly. You know, take your time in doing it, but I want these to be sort of quick and easy ideas rather than spending a lot. Now I'm going to go on to the Tempting Turquoise, which is a really lovely blue. I'm keeping the other open because I'm not sure how much I'm going to be using on this, or whether I want to add some more in on there or not. And I'm literally just taking it over on the top. It's quite a large surface area, so you know, just work your way through. So if you take it from the outside, you don't get as many blobs, but if you're going as fast as I am, and as I say, I do turn it round so I can get the other side as well. Just keep turning it round as I go. I love mixing colours together so that they look really nice. And even though we're doing Christmas, it doesn't mean that you have to do just all red and greens. You can have that sort of, you know, frosty morning look, which is a way of doing it. As I say, I'm getting this a little bit too blobby for me, but it will work. By the time we've added the other things on, all we're doing is just colouring the paper in a little bit. And I am taking it right the way down to the bottom, because what I want to be able to do is to add the Starry Sky in there as well, which will tone into the background. So I think that's probably all right on there, and I don't think I need any more of the Highland Heather. But again, you know, you don't have to choose these colours. Just choose colours that are of the same sort of tones, because it can be easy to make things look muddy if you use a completely different. And I always start with the lightest first, because then it doesn't matter going on your brush, because you can always just sort of add some in on there. And you can see I'm just going up on the top so that the Tempting Turquoise, you can hardly see it as being Tempting Turquoise because I'm blending everything in through together. So I just want this to be just blended through beautifully. And by coming in from the edges, I might just come in from the center here to just darken that bit up as well. But you can see from that you've got this lovely sky coming in, paler at the bottom. And if we then look at putting it onto, I'm going to keep this out, but if we then look at putting it onto here, you can see how those colours blend through nicely. So we're still taking this piece, and I said that I wanted baubles, so I've actually made this one. This was from the ones that we were doing the other day, which is from a very, very old set. It's about 10 years old, which is called Ornament Keepsakes. 2 sets of lovely ornaments and baubles to hang on the tree. You can do lots of cards and things, and I've just taken those out, and then there's the dies that go with it. So as I say, I've had this about 10 years, but you know, I don't get away with anything. So you can see that the tone is beautiful because it's the starry sky, so that it goes beautifully with it. And I'm going to have that on there, but I want to do some of the background, and I've taken this one, again a very old one, Ornamental Pine, and I want this pine cone, but I'm going to do it tone on tone. So I'm going to do it in the colour of this. Now, I want it to come upwards, so it needs to come up this way, doesn't it? So I need to get a block out that's going to be big enough. Let me just have a look. It's quite interesting. I know that a lot of you have been really enjoying this because I'm using old stamp sets that we haven't probably used for a long time. So, you know, some of you have been with me quite a long time, have got some of these. Other people are going like, oh yes, but I could use this, I could use that. So I'm really pleased that it's going quite well. Now this is my largest block. Don't use it very often, but it's perfect for something like this because I can then put it down where I want it, and I want it to be up in, whoops, better give it a bit of a huff because it's an older one, so I want it at that sort of angle. So let's press it in nicely, and it just shows, you know, the stamps, once you've bought them, they will last forever. So I'm going to ink this up in the lovely starry sky because I want tone on tone. So I don't want to do, hopefully that won't have come through on the edges. It's a bit of a big one and it's quite juicy. So I now want to put this in. Let's have it about like this. Just in on the centre. I'm going to give it a bit of a press because it is quite a big stamp, and I haven't used it for a long time. So there's me turning around and saying that it's going to work perfectly. I'm sure it will. Look at that. Yes, lovely. So that's that piece on there, and I could have, see, I just want to have that sort of bauble hanging down on there. So I could have actually had it a little bit higher, couldn't I? Or I could just take that completely abstract. I'm going to take it completely abstract, and I'm going to put this other little tiny one, which is like this. I'm going to put that in down here. So hanging from that branch. There is a little thing for hanging it, but I don't think I'm going to be quite as clever to be able to do that. But I also like these words, may the peace and beauty of the season remain with you always. So I might put that down on there. Let's take a block that's a bit smaller. I'm going to huff on this, and then hopefully it will stay. Put that up with May. I'm going to stamp it off first because I want to make sure that it's going to come up at the right angle. But again, you know, use what you've got. So let's just see whether that is straight. Ooh, not quite. Needs to come a little bit that way, doesn't it? It's a little bit. So does it need to come that way a little bit, I think? Yes, that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to have this down on the bottom here. Like that. Still a little bit skew with, but I don't think that that'll matter. We're going to put this one in on here. So I need to get this on a block as well. Take that off. I can clean that afterwards. So this is another bauble. And then I can put this in on the centre. It's a lovely bauble, this one. And this is going to come in like that. Excuse my head if it came in. Oh, that's pretty. Now I can put that little hook in because it's a little bit down, isn't it? I think I need to get the hook. Let me find my, there we go, that's for cleaning that. I have to clean that one first. But you can see, you know, these stamps are quite old. Don't ask me how old, but, you know, relatively old. Up to sort of 10 years old. And they still stamp as beautifully as they did on the first day. So I'm going to take this tiny little thing that puts the bauble on the tree and see if I can get that to hook in over the tree. Okay, so if that's where I want it to go, I think I need it up a bit. Yes, I do. Right. Okay, so it's going to come in like this. Oh, it's going to come a bit high, but never mind. We'll have it like that. I think I'm going to do it sort of in between like that. There we go. That's fine. So it's sort of hanging, but not completely. But I think that that's quite nice on there. And then I can put this in on here. Make sure I've got the card opening up the right way. We can put this one in like that, which I think is lovely. So those are our baubles in on there with the colour, and I think I'm going to put, am I going to have the bauble that side, or I'm going to have it maybe in the middle? Just thinking of whether I actually want that on there or not, or whether I want it off. I did want it in the colour. I think I'm going to have it, yeah, I'm going to have it sort of a bit off centre and a bit in like that. But I also want to make some twinklies and things on there, but I do like that. So let's put this in on here and that in on there. So we've got those bits all together. And as I say, these are all ideas completely sort of off the hoof. I thought, well, I could do this. Now I should really have cut something out of here, but I'm not. As you know, I almost always cut things out. So I'm giving this quite a big space like this. This is then going to go in on top. And I think it needs some glitter on it as well. So let's put this in like that. Got a nice border through on there. Then this is going to come in on the center, so I need to put some dimensionals in on here. Now I've got these ones that I was saying that I was given, that I've had sat in the drawer. So I'm using everything that I've got, that I've been given, that I've kept in my stash, to try and be as economical as I can and show you different ways of using what you've got. I'll put another one in on the top here. There we are. So I want this to come in nice and flat, so let's take these pieces off. But I like the colours coming through on here, but I still want, it needs a little bit extra to make it more Christmassy. So I'm going to be using some sparkle. So this is going to come in on the center part like that. Okay, so you've got the different layers and the different textures with the tree coming through at the back, which I think looks really pretty. Now I just want to add some, let's get my box of twinklies out. I've also got, let me have a look and see, right, I've got some glitter glue as well, which again, we used to do things like that, but we don't do them anymore. But I think that that can add just a little bit of sparkliness to it. So this is going to be a frosty tree, so let's just try and get some glittery bits coming through on here. You might not be able to see it very much, but I can see it coming through. So on all of these sort of little tiny pieces coming through, I'm just giving some glitter to just make it look a bit sparkly. So I hope you can see that a little bit coming through. I don't think I want it on the actual bauble. I do want it, as I say, down on here. So that'll take a while to dry, but that's fine. Then I want to add some sparklies. So if we're doing silver, we want to have some rhinestones, don't we? So let me take some rhinestones out. This is an old packet, isn't it? Let's get the newer packet. It's funny as well. I like the, okay, so those were the original ones. And you can see they're lovely and faceted and flat, and you've got sections of them. So I've kept those because I really like working with those. And I'm using these ones at the moment. So let me just grab the scissors for now, so I can just put some of these on. And I'm going to put them in on the, whoops, grab it together. So we can have one in on the center of here. And then if you see, we've got these little pieces hanging down, whoops, hanging down here. So I'm going to put them on the bottom of there. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on. 4. We'll put this one in, which is 5. Okay, so this gives you a different sort of card, not in your traditional colours, but a lovely ombre effect on there, and building up something on top of what you wouldn't necessarily have thought. But I think it works quite well because you've got your ornament standing as a topper, as it were, behind this lovely background with the bauble twinkling on there as well. And I could, when this is dried, I might just add just a little bit of twinkle round on there as well. But I think it looks really good. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it'll give you another bit of an idea. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.